Hey guys, welcome to Selenium with Java January 2023 batch online training session 2. In today's session, I will discuss what are the operations can be performed on images, checkbox, radio button and drop down, how to scroll down or scroll up a web page, and the complete study of XML Path and CSS Selector. So, in the last session, you already seen right how to set up the property for the Chrome driver. I will repeat it again. What are the different web element locators available and how to launch a browser, get the properties, right? How to interact with the web edit box and the link. So today we will learn all the remaining ones, whatever as part of the today's agenda. So you already see right how to create the project, then packages and then the class. So today in the training package, I'll create one more new class. So it will be new and then class. I'm giving the name called session 2 and I'll be selecting the main method which is coming from Java. Okay, so I will just simply copy the steps whatever written yesterday and I'll be repeating it how we are doing it. So system is nothing but a class from Java. It is not a Selenium class, guys. So system is a class. So the method will come from either from the class or interface. So from the next session Java will be covered and then you can try to interact, right? What is class, what is interface, what is method all about. So just like suppose say I am the human being, right? So I can be considered sometimes as a class. So class will be having some property, right? So suppose I am having some property, I am having some hands, right, nose, legs, all this stuff, right, head, everything. So these are the different property, and I also having some methods or action, right? So suppose I am doing some task, right? Having expressor, because of that I am just having delivering the classes. So that is different called method, right, which is running. So that way, whenever you are calling the class, so class will be having some sort of different kind of properties which is called variables and as well as different sort of methods. So as and when you are typing system and if you press dot, so all the relevant method you can able to see it under that class system. So this is class. If you press dot, immediately all the methods will be coming from that one. So from that one we have selected, right, system dot property, right? So these are the different class which is coming from the system class set property, right? And it is, you can see where it is coming from, where it is coming. I told yesterday also. So it is called the class from where this method is coming, and this is called return type, right? And this is the method name and this is the called argument, where you are able to see like string key, string key. So string is nothing but the alphanumeric character. In the Java you can understand more granular way what is string, and key value thing, all this is the concept from the Java. Okay, so that part again you will be learning it down the line. So this is called return type and this is called the class and this is called the method and this is called argument. So that way it's linked. Say here suppose set property is only having the properties and it is return type is void, means it is not return anything. Here return type is string, means it will return something string in case you want to just access it. So that way it will behave. And so here it was a key and value pair combination. So first we are giving the key which is called webdriver.chrome.driver in case you want to interact with Chrome browser, and the value key and value combination, that is called key and value pair combination, pair concept. So second one is the path, which is the value. Then WebDriver, this part we are getting it from Selenium WebDriver jar file, because these are the interfaces of the class we are accessing from the Selenium, not from Java. But here this is coming from Java. So WebDriver is interface. So just for now, just try to understand only that concept. WebDriver is the interface, and for the interface we cannot create the object or the variable directly. Okay, either we need to take help from the class or there is another way. I will be covering that also today. Then as and when my object or the variable is created, right, or instance sometime called, it is instance from the class or the interface, then with the help of that instance or object I can call the relevant method, right, from both the class and as well as both the driver. So that way I am calling it and then I am just trying to open the page. Okay, Now here we'll be learning how to operate on the image. So image you already seen sometime in the pages, right? Whenever you are browsing the any page, sometimes you can fix some images. Sometimes image can have link, or sometimes they do not have a link, static also. Just kind of validating purpose you need to do. So primarily what that thing can done. So for the images we can validate the different properties of the images. So images sometimes link, right, some of the other link also. If you click that images it will open the other page sometime, but sometime it can be fixed. No disable image can be disabled. So images link are the links in web page represented by an image, which whenever user is clicking, sometime navigate to a different window or page as well. But whenever you are dealing with images, so you already see there are different element locator technique, 8, right? Primarily ID, name, class name, tag name, link text, partial link text, and CSS and Xpath. So in case those are available, so you can deal with that. But in case suppose say there is no tag at all available, and link text, partial link text also not working, so you have to rely on the default CSS or XPath. But sometimes though you cannot guarantee that those will work, so you have to create your own XPath or CSS. So that is the concept you'll be learning today. So what we can do in case of images, so we can fetch the attribute with the help of the get attribute method, and we can get the required value for those attribute. So here if you go to the Facebook page, right? So there is an image, you can see there is an image Facebook. So you cannot see there is no link at all. So this is kind of disable properties, but you can just get all the properties. So yesterday I was saying, right, how to inspect the element. So you need to press F12 button from your keyboard, F12. As and when you are pressing F12 button, so there is an inspector element, right, icon. You need to mouse it over and you need to just press it on the relevant element, so that all the properties will be visible. I was telling yesterday, right? In case it's an image, so tag name will start with the IMG or SRC. This is called tag name. The first one is called tag name, tag, through which even without having a look on the element, you can easily tell anyone know that this is type will be element will be there. In case it's starting with anchor link, so definitely it will be link or hyperlink. In case it's the input, it might be radio box, it can be input box, it can be checkbox. So this kind of thing, there are multiple properties there. So if you mouse it over here, any web edit box, you could see tag is input but type equal to text. But in case it's a radio button, so tag will be input, type equal to radio. In case it is checkbox, tag will be input and type equal to checkbox. So that part you will be learning today. How to. So that is the way. These are called the right HTML properties of the element. Whenever developer developed this, right, they have given the property, all those properties, through which you are interacting with the element through the script. So they have developed that way. But right now, right, we are kind of going into a reverse way, and we are trying to get all the property through which I am able to identify the element uniquely in the page, and then I am interacting accordingly based on the element behavior or element type or properties. So now if you mouse it over here, you could see here only class equal to there something. Sometimes class might be a problem, you cannot guarantee. Right? ID name might be fine, but class even sometimes might get problem. Say here you could see apart from the class there is no other property through which I can easily identify. SRC is not a valid element locator. ALT is not a valid web element locator. So how can I interact it? So either I can go with the default XPath or CSS. So copy XPath or copy CSS, that is the default one, you can get it. Right? So I can copy XPath. So one thing, yesterday you was confused, right? So whenever I was calling the web element, so how the question is coming, that how the web element is coming. I am letting you know whenever you are giving driver.find element. So these are the two methods. You could see what is find element. Find element is a method which is coming from WebDriver, and what is return type? It is return type is web element. That is the reason we are whenever we are creating the variable, we are giving the return type as web element. And there is another method, find elements, where you could see that it will be displaying you lot of web elements. So web element will display only one web element. Whenever it is a lot of web element, more than one, you need to store in some list. and this is the variable type, and this is the called list. So it will be contain all the variable, more than one, but it is coming from WebDriver only. So for one element you need to call find element. In case it's multiple, so I'll be covering that one today. So that is the reason we are storing it with the help of the web element class, which is coming from the WebDriver interface, right? So by dot Xpath, and I'm giving the Xpath here. So I am just storing it and giving some name. That is the reason I am storing in the web element. So it is not coming from the sky, right? We are getting it based on the return type already Selenium method is giving to us. So Facebook variable name I am giving Facebook image. Now we need to import that web element class because this is the property from Selenium. So we need to import it so that error will be solved. Right now we can get all the properties with the help of the get attribute method and print it out. So how many properties is there for that one? There's the properties called class, src and alt. So these are the three things we can print it out. So this is the variable, then dot, we need to call get attribute method, you could see. So it will be displaying string, but we are already printing it out. That is the string will be printing out in the console. It is coming from the web element, and this is a method where I need to pass the string. So that is nothing but the corresponding attribute name. So here you can see within the double quote class. So similar way you can print out the other thing. So one is class, one is src, and one is alt. So these are the properties, three properties. And with the help of the get property, I can get the required value. So apart from that, as and when required, I can validate it. But whenever you need to validate it, mostly that time you'll be storing in some variable, so that right automatically you can do it. So that of the verification part will be covered in the upcoming session. Right now, no need to worry. Just now try to learn how we can interact with the different kind of element with the help of different element locator technique. So now it's open the Facebook page. Now if you go to the console, you could see. First one is the printing the class, which is like the value is coming from here, and second one is src. Okay, I have given arc. That is the reason it is not able to give anything, because there is no actual properties available, and alt it is Facebook. So you could see here, in case you are doing any mistake, right, you are not getting the desired result, because that property is not having in that particular web element exactly matching. So in case it is matching only, then it will be giving the value. Now if you run it again, so it will be giving you the desired value. So in case it is you are doing something right, then only you can able to validate it, right, and slowly you can able to understand the what the problem you are doing, and slowly you will be learning how to go out or move out from this problem and how you can solve that problem. So as and when you be doing more and more practice and you are acquiring more and more knowledge, that way, right, slowly you can able to fix those code, correct the code, right, very easily. Okay. So is that part clear, guys? Any questions from those area? Yeah, get attribute is, I mean, it will let you know to get the different attribute value for that particular element. It can be any kind of attribute. You can get the corresponding value. So these are the attribute. Class is an attribute, src is an attribute, alt is an attribute. You can get the required value. Sometimes you need to validate it, that whether the class's attribute value is working as per your expectation or not. Suppose your expectation is A, but in case the value is B, so it will be fail. Yes. So you need to validate it. Suppose for the image, right? You cannot click it. So how you can validate the image? Whether the first thing is that you can validate whether the images exist or not, is displayed or not, and you can see whether the image is clickable or not, right? After that you can validate the attribute. But in case the image is not clickable, so how you can validate whether alt is equal to Facebook or not? That is the way you can validate that image name is Facebook, right? So that is the way you can validate it from the whenever you are doing the assertion or the verification point. because your main objective is not to navigate from one step to another step, right? Every time you need to assert your expected and the actual result through the script as well. So here your, I mean, these are the different thing will come into the picture. Yeah, guys, any other questions? Are you able to get some more insight today? Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I will be telling you, not be a problem, but we did not generally copy it in the real time. Okay. So here, if you just mouse it over and select the element, right? You could see in the left pane there is a three dot. If you click here, and there is an option called copy and then XPath or CSS. Or copy element means all the properties you can copy it and paste it in Notepad as well. If you do not want to go here, you can just simply tpl dot click copy and copy element, and you can paste in Notepad, so that automatically all the thing here it will be copied easily, and then you can use it, right, instead of going here and there. Yeah, that XPath will be creating down the line slowly. Okay, you no need to worry. We'll be creating the XPath, because sometimes this XPath might not work. I will letting you know what the problem might come. That will come in the upcoming. Yes. Yeah. Right. That will be covered. That will be covered in the XPath, how to create our own XPath and CSS. In today's session only you can learn. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, getting some more insight, guys. Any more questions before proceeding? Yeah, suppose say there's an image, right? So image you are not able to click it, but you need to validate the properties, right? That you need to validate whether the title of the image is like that, whether the particular text of the image is like that. So that is the way, right? You can get it. So validation, that will be a validation point for the images. In case image is also clickable, then you can click it, and after the clicking it, you are redirecting some web page. Then validate that whether that web page is opening or not, or new window is opening or not. That is the way you can validate it. Yes. So we can check definitely through the properties. That is the way get properties. After that, apart from that, in case image is clickable, we can. I am clicking in the images, so it will navigating to the other web page. So as I know, when the new web page is opening, that URL I am storing it with the help of the get current URL. Then my expected URL I know that is the expectation. Then I'll validate this to a URL to check that it is redirecting to the correct URL or not. That is the use case in the real time. Yes, definitely, right. I'll be storing in some, suppose say, my expected way, right? Suppose say here, if I open the Facebook page, say, I want to store in some string my expected URL like that, right? It will be something called ABC like that, right? And something will come through my actual. So I'll be storing it again with the actual one. Say actual URL, and actually how it will be coming, it will be coming to the actual navigation divert dot get current URL. Then I'll be just matching those two URL. So okay, with the help of different properties called assertion in the real time. So that will be coming from the test ng to validate the expected and outcome, actual outcome. That is not covered in today. Otherwise it will be more complicated. That is the reason I don't want to cover right now. Yeah, apart from that, without assertion you can use some loop from Java, if else condition, and that way also you can match it, not be a problem. In case it is matching, your test case will be passed. In case not matching, it will fail and it will throw you the error. Okay, yeah, so we'll go to the next one. So as of now, you already seen the different kind of element techniques, right? We will slowly learn other more techniques. So we'll go here, and I'll comment out this part. So this is the another URL where you could see the lot of radio button and checkbox is there. So how can I interact with them? So what is the difference between radio button and checkbox? Can anyone let me know? Generic way. Forget about the Selenium. So what is the difference between radio button and checkbox? Hmm. Yeah. Yes. So you are correct. So radio button means you can only select one option at a time. Suppose say here I can select only one, and if you go to the next option, automatically the first one will be unselected or deselected, right? So only you can select the one option. But for the checkbox, you can check all the option or you can uncheck all the options. So that is the basic difference in the real time as well. So we will try to see what are the different operations we can do for the radio button and the checkbox. So first is checkbox. So we can validate whether it's displayed or not real time. Once it is displayed, we will validate whether it's enabled or not, or disabled or enabled. That is the real time that every time most of the display used to validate. After that, you need to check whether is selected or not automatically. Because for checkbox, even if you double click, if you once it is selected and even if you click hit, automatically it will be deselected, right? So first one will be selected and second one will be deselected. First time selected and second time again it is unchecking. So that is the way, and you can click here to select it or unselected in case it is already selected. So that are the different thing you can do it. So here let's go to the Eclipse here. So that is the URL I already given. Now suppose say I want to check the checkbox one. So what I need to do, I need to press F12 button here, and I need to mouse it over and I need to inspect the element, right? So you could see type tag equal to input, type equal to checkbox, right? Name equal to wavefrom. So here you can see lot of wavefrom name is there. So you cannot identify the element uniquely with the help of the name. Though name is a wave element locator technique, but still you cannot do it. But ID is kind of VFB-6-0. So copy it, press Ctrl F, and just you could see now one match. So until it is one match, right? It should not be uniquely in the page. So it might trouble you in case you are using that properties. So that is the reason most of the time in case you are not able to identify uniquely, right? So you need to go with Xpath or CSS. So here its ID is fine uniquely, and ID is element locator technique. So I can use the ID. So let's copy that ID and let's go with driver dot find element. You could see that return type is wave element, so we'll be storing into wave element here by dot ID, and I am giving the ID because I'll be using it multiple times. So that is the reason I need to store in wave element. Wave element. So giving name called checkbox one. So that give some suitable name so that you can understand what you are doing it. So I have given it checkbox one, right? So it is not radio. Checkbox one means that I want to trigger it to a. So that is the way whenever you are coding, just try do not give any kind of name for the variable as well. Give some better way so that you can understand, other person can understand. Here I have given name, right? Called, you could see here Facebook image. So person can know this is the image type, and the name of the image is Facebook. So that way in the real time you should give the variable name as well. Do not give any test ABC like that. Now I can get the different thing for that one. First, whether is displayed. That is my first objective. You could see it will give you the boolean. It is coming from the wave element class, and the return type is boolean, true or false, either true or false. Dot is enabled. The next one is selected, right? Then you can click here, dot click. So it will be first time it will be checked. Even after that, if you want to check it again, you can just click it again. So you can give some thread dot sleep so that you can able to see it. suppose say 3 seconds. So here what will be expected is displayed. I need to surround with some try catch block or need to give some source declaration. Here you can select exception. So it will be definitely true displayed. It will be true. Here it will be false because initially it was not selected. Okay, and again after checking, if you want to select check, so what it will be true, right? So that is the way you can validate every time. Now let's try to run it. So it will open the page. It will first check the checkbox 1. After the page is loaded, wait for 3 seconds, it will uncheck it. Yes, that is the way it is working. And now if you go to the console, you could see it is true matching here. Second one is also true matching here. And it is false for the first time, it was not selected, matching here. And after selection, after clicking here, it is coming as true. So that is the way you can just deal with the checkbox. If you want to check all the checkbox, so you can create more variable, right? Suppose say I can create one more variable called checkbox 2. So variable should not be unique. You remember why error message is coming, right? You can see duplicate local variable checkbox 1. So always variable should be unique in your code. It cannot be duplicate. So I can give name called 2. Automatically it is disappear. Now here I can get the properties for the checkbox 2. So you could see that id equal to -1. So that id I can give it here, and now I can click here with the checkbox 2. So automatically checkbox 2 will be selected. Similarly, I can get all the desired properties for the checkbox 2 as well, in case multiple is there, multiple variable is there for the checkbox. 5 options, so you can create the 5 variable, then you can interact accordingly. So it will first check the checkbox 1, wait for 3 seconds, it will uncheck checkbox 1 and check checkbox 2, right? Your code is working perfectly that way. So it will be based on your requirement, your code will be working. So you are driving the code, though it is automated, but you are the person who is automating. So it will work based on your requirement, based on the way you are doing the coding. So that is the way you can select or unselect it. So if checkbox, if you select it, automatically it will be checked, and if you again double click here, automatically it will be unchecked. So that is the way you can select all checkbox, or you can unselect all the checkbox. But for the radio button, same method is available right here. So I am giving something name called radio 1, and here I need to inspect it. What is the property for radio option 1, right? I am giving radio 1. So this is the value id I need to give it. So same way I just can change here variable name. So here I can give name radio 2, and that part is not really required, because radio button you cannot double click, it will not impact any, right? And radio 2. So for radio 2, let's try to see what is the property for the second option. id equal to that one. I can copy it here. So this is the radio button 1. Through property I am identifying is displayed, is enabled, is selected, no false. I am clicking it here, right? And so automatically after you click here, so it will be true. Then you are waiting for 3 seconds, and then you are selecting radio option 2, so that 1 will be automatically unselected and 2 will be selected. So that is the way radio button it will work. But for the checkbox, it will not impact other. One checkbox property, it will not impact the other, but for the radio button it will impact the other in the way you are selecting. because only at a time you can select only one option from the list of options from the radio button list. In case 5 option is there, only you can select one at a time. In case you are selecting to B from A, automatically A will be unselected again. So that is the way in the real time it will also happen. Let's try to run it and let's see. So it will select the option 1, wait for 3 seconds, it will be option is going to option 2. Option 1 is getting unselected. So that is the beauty here. With the help of the code, we can automate this kind of radio button and the checkbox. You could see first it is getting with true, true, and then false, and after checking it, it is getting true. So, any questions, guys, from radio button and checkbox? Yeah. Yes, so that is the method, right? You could see here is displayed will let you know whether that option is getting displayed or not in the UI or in the web page. Is selected is letting you know whether that option is selected or not. Is enabled is letting you know that it's enabled or not. Sometimes it can be disabled, right? So that is the property is letting you know whether it's enabled or not. So in case it's disabled, your script will fail. Your expectation is enabled, that is the reason you want to click it, but sometimes you know, right? Suppose developer have developed, you need to test it. They have did some mistake. Instead of enabling, they have disabled it. So your script will fail and you can log as a defect. Is enabled first, try to understand the order. First we will check the displaying, right? Whether that element is displayed or not in the screen. Then I will check whether that element is enabled, means whether it's enabled, we are able to interact, right? After that we will check whether it's selected automatically or not. Then only we can select or unselect. So that is the way. In case it is not displayed or it will fail at the first point. In case it is not enabled, my expectation is enabled, so it will fail anyway. In case somehow they have already selected it, my expectation is not, it will be unselected again, it will fail it. So that is the way, step by step I can validate it, and I can. No, radio 1 is not a method, radio 1 is a variable. This is a variable, right? This is a variable we have created, which is the web element return type. This is the variable. This is not a method. Method is displayed, is enabled, is selected, or click. Why I am creating the variable, I told you. In case you need to use it multiple times, you should create variable. Suppose say tomorrow, in case it is properties got changed to some A B C like that, so you can update only one places. So automatically it will be updated everywhere, wherever it is getting used. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to create other variable for all the element, because element will be unique in the page, right? You cannot radio 2, radio 3 based on your name convention, right? Because element it should be unique here, because it is a unique element in the page, right? How can you make with the other one, right? You cannot do it in the real time, otherwise your operation will not be successful. So each and every properties, each and every option is called element, and each and element will be having different properties. You cannot link it. Somewhere it will be different. Otherwise, how they are distinguished in the page whenever they have developed. Some properties should be different. Yes, yes, tell me. Yes. Yes, you can check whether it's selected. That is the method, right? Is selected. So it will give you true in case automatically selected. But in case your expectation is false, so you can fail it, right? With the true and false is not matching. Yes, any more questions, guys? Because these are the initial part, right? You need to get more and more clarity so that you can able to understand. That is the reason I am giving more pause. Okay, cool. Right, you can note down your query as well, we can discuss, not be a problem at all. Yeah, sorry, I think you left, right? Any questions for me? Okay. The next one is how to handle drop down box. So before that, let's try to do some code with the help of tag name. Okay. So that may, few of the term right now you're not able to understand, but still you can get some interesting thing here. Before going to that one. Okay. So suppose say driver dot get. I'm just giving something called Google page. So this is the page you need to go, and your lead or your expectation is that you need to verify in the page how many link is available. So that is the thing you need to validate, and then even again you need to print them. So it is not possible manually, right? So you can see Gmail is a link, image is a link, these are all the link, right? Total. And if you go down here, this is a link, this is a link, this is a link, like all this stuff. Right? So in case it is a 1000 links, can you able to do it manually? It will be really tedious. And sometimes your expectation is that you have to validate all the link, and then your link is matching, you need to click here. So you need to click on the Gmail. So you through automation script, then how can you do it? So I can go with identification of the element, but without identification of the element, I can still do it. So how can you do it? Let's see. So here I already navigate to the page, right? Then what is the, if you press F12 button here, what is that? Sorry, F12 button. So any link tag name will be similar. It will start with A, called anchor link, right? A. Any link or hyperlink tag name will start with A. So that is the reason tag name will play an pivotal role where you need to identify with similar tag name. So here I will be calling driver dot find elements method. You could see. And what is return type? Return type is list of web element, because it will give you more than one list of web element, right? So here by dot tag name. So what is the tag name? Tag name is A. So I need to store in that way, right? List of web element. List is the Java coming from Java, and type equal to web element. So right now no need to worry because that will be more complex part, but I am just giving you some example here, and you can give some variable, right? All links. Okay, now you could see error is coming because list is a interface coming from Java. We need to import it from the java.util package. Now it's fine, right? Then if you want to print out how many link is available in the page, so how can you do it? So the variable. So variable will not print you how many things. Then there is a method available called size, through which you could see it is coming from the list. It will be giving you integer value, right? Now if you run it, it will let you know how many link is there in the web page. So you don't need to manually count it. Okay, so you can go here. It's still working. Yeah, you could see 25 links, right? So if you count it manually, you can also validate, not be a problem. 1 2, like it is a link also, and these are the link, and this is a link, this is link. That way it will be giving you 25 total. Next question will come that I want to print all the link. So in case some of the link is not English, so that is not readable. Okay, so that will be problem. It will be coming question mark like that. But in case it's English word, it will print it. Okay. So here you need to use some loop. So that part will go some other way. You will not able to understand completely, but just some of the way I am typing my code. So loop will be covered in Java, and then you can relate it. So here I can use some for loop. So that is the pattern. You need to initialize integer, then you can start with I equal to 0. Right now no need to concentrate much here because that will be covered, and then you can get more clarity. Then it's a variable, then I need to give the size here. It will start with 0 and it will go till the size minus 1. So that is the reason it is going till size minus 1. Because in Java most of the thing will start from 0, not from 1, and it will go, suppose your size is 20, so Java it will start from 0 to 19, it is covering 20 because it is starting with 0. So that is the reason I am not giving equal to sign. Then I plus plus, that is the syntax for loop. And then here SYSO I need to print out, right, the all the things. So here I need to give the variable. Then for every I want to print it every I, and then I want to print the text. There is a method called get text. It is trying as type as string, so it will give me the print the value in the console. So that part, you know, the area will be complicated for you, no need to worry, that will be covered, then you can relate it. And you could see here everything is getting printed, right? You could see all the link. Question mark means that is not in English format, right? You could see everything. So that way you can print all the link with manual intervention, because in case it is 2000 5000 link, how can you validate expectation x actual, right? You cannot validate it. Now say I want to click on the Gmail without Xpath, especially for the link. How can I do that? With the help of that loop I can validate it. So here you can give some condition called if, through which I can give the condition in my all links. One second. Dot get of I, because I am iterating for all I 0 to n minus 1. Dot get text. I am giving some condition, matching condition. Get text which equal to ignore case, means equal ignore case means lowercase uppercase it will ignore, and it is matching with Gmail, because here G part is caps, so I am ignoring that condition, right? Uppercase lowercase. Then I want to click on the link. So this code might be complicated little bit for now, no need to worry. Once you are covering with all the if condition and for loop, then you can get more clarity. Get of I dot click. Then you can break the loop. So that will be covered in Java. Why we are breaking it? Because suppose say you need to go to a complex, right? And you need to go to a particular flat. So there are 200 flat, but your objective is to go to a particular flat and meet one. So you'll go one by one in case it's unknown, right? But in case as and when you are matching, you'll be stopped there, and there is no point of going to the other flat because your condition is matched. So that is the reason, as and when my condition is matched, I want to terminate the loop. I don't want to reiterate the other remaining one. That is the reason I am using break here. So that is the way it will save the time. So that will be covered in Java more thoroughly. So this is the for loop syntax. Right now, this is the for, and here you need to start with 0, and every I plus plus means 1, 2, 3, 4, you iterate all the options one by one. Then while you are iterating, it will try to get the text and it will validate whether text is matching with Gmail or not. Immediately as and when it is matching, it will be clicking on that and it will terminate the loop. It will not remaining for the remaining one. So that way you can go with the loop and if statement and break statement in the real time. So once Java related part will be covered, you will get more and more clarity. So now you could see it is clicking on the Gmail without the Xpath CSS, all this stuff, with the help of that find elements method and tag name, because we are using the element operator here, tag name. Okay, so that is the way in the real time you can interact. Okay, so that is the part, might be complicated guys. Now right now no need to worry, but that is the way where we can implement the tag name, because all the element locator technique I have showed you. So that is the reason I want to cover that one also. Next topic I will cover, then I will take a pause again to discuss all the remaining one. So how to handle the drop down? So what is drop down? Suppose say if you go here, sorry, okay. So suppose say if you go to that particular link, because I have tried to give all the relevant URL where we are daily mostly we are using it on day to day basis, right? You could see this is a drop down, right? Country drop down. So you could see here from the drop down, it can be two type of drop down. From where only one we can select one few of the drop down. It might be we can select I mean one more as well. So mostly 99% will be only we are able to select only one option at a time. So okay. So with the help of this way, like click all this stuff, we cannot handle this drop down, right? So we have to rely on some external classes, which is called select classes, which will come from the Selenium WebDriver, through which I can select any value. Okay. So Selenium is providing a select class which will be having some predefined method for handling drop down. Okay, so in case there is option for selecting multiple, you can do it, but in the 1% time you'll be having this kind of scenario. Most of the time you'll be having scenario where you can only select one option at a time. If you selecting the other option, automatically the first one will be deselected from the select drop down box as well. So there are methods available called select by visible text, index and value. In case multiple option is there, so you can deselect again by visible text, deselect by index, deselect by value. In case multiple options you have selected 5, right, where it is possible, you can deselect all, so that automatically it will deselect all the option. So you can think about these three options first. Mostly 99% time we will be using select by visible text, select by index or select by value. Then how can you do that? So how can I select that any value from that country list, drop down list? So go to the URL first in the code. Then I need to identify the element, right? So which of the element, what element I want to interact? I want to interact that country. So what is the property of the country? You could see the ID equal to that country. Okay, so with the help of the ID I can identify the element, but as and when you want to use handle the drop down, you have to use the select class, which is the class predefined in Selenium through which you can interact with the drop down field. So here you could see the syntax. So select will be new select, and then you need to pass the web element reference. So either you can do in two way. So either you can store in some web element say country list equal to driver dot find element. What is the element locator technique? ID equal to country by dot ID, not that one, country. So I have created the web element first. Then I need to create a select variable for the select class. So select, that is the class, you need to give the capital word. S will be capital word. Say I can give any variable name, right? Suppose say country drop down equal to new select. Here you need to give the reference. So that is the way. Otherwise you can directly give the reference here directly, that part here directly. So that is the two way you can do it. Now you can see some error because that select is a class coming from Selenium. We need to import it. Now it is working fine. Then now I can, what are the way I can handle the drop down? You can select the drop down three way. One is by visible text, one is by index, one is by value. So index means ordering 0 to all the order, right? So suppose say if you select the drop down, so what is coming first? India is coming first means zeroth index. American subwa is second means one index because it will start from zero. Suppose say I need to select Argentina. So what will be the index? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, if I give index as 7, so automatically Argentina will be selected. Now let's give it 7 index. So that way, then dot. If you press dot, all the method from the select class will be coming. You could see select by index. What is the type? You need to give it integer. It will not return anything, but it will interact. You could see here, it's integer you need to give. So I need to give 7. In case you are giving any string or other value, it will throw the error. Now let's try to see. So it will select Argentina based on the index. It will open the page. You could see country drop down is selecting to Argentina. By default it was India. So that way you can select with the help of the index. Next one, I can select based on my visible text. So how can you identify the visible text? So you could see if you expand the select class, initially it was not expanded. That is the variable, that is the field. You need to expand that one so that all the options will be there, right? You could see this is the index order, this is the value, and this is the text. So if I want to select by value, okay, so let's select by value. So again it will be variable dot select by value. You need to give string value. It can be integer, but you need to give it string format means you need to give it in the double quote, right? Value, string by value. So I say I want to select Angola. So what is my value? It's 5. So if you give it 5, because type is string, so you need to give it in the double quote. So it will select Angola. Okay. Now let's try to run my code, run your code. Let's see whether Angola is selected or not. Okay, you could see Angola got selected. So that is the way you can go with select by value. Then the last options will go select by visible text. Dot select by visible text. What is the type you need to pass? It's string also. So say I want to select with the text. Suppose say I want to select anything called, right, Australia. So you need to give the text here. So that is the 3 options you can interact with the drop down field. Now it will select Australia after opening the page. So always you need to create a reference with the help of select class, and then you can go with select by text or index or value. So in case something is not there, you can definitely go with the index, right? Sometimes maybe value is not there, sometimes text is not there. So that is the 3 way you can interact with the drop down. Any drop down, it will work. It is selecting Australia. Yeah, so I am just pausing, giving a pause, guys. Any questions? Yeah, mostly I have used selecting for drop down only, select class specific to drop down. Why it is coming? You could see how you can, by closing your eyes, you can say that it is drop down. Can anyone let me know based on the variable properties? If I ask you, right, give me the properties details of the variable, then I can, by closing my eyes, I can say that this is a drop down field. Because whenever you are dealing with the select class, sorry, you are dealing with drop down, right? If you mouse it over, oh, 1 second, yeah, mouse it over to the drop down, you could see the tag is starting with select because it is drop down. So that is the way, as and when you will be working more and more, you can easily understand based on the tag name how you can interact. So this select is a tag name, but that select is a class coming from Selenium. This is a HTML tag name, and that select is the property of the class which is coming from the Selenium jar file. Mostly used, I have used select class for the handling the drop down or the list box. Yeah, any is it Sati, are you, I mean, is it clarifying your query? Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, any other questions, guys? I'm going little bit slow space. I want to interact more and more. I want to solve your query. Few of the term right you mentioned like tag name might be the code might be difficult, but definitely you are able to get something. Whenever Java, for loop, if loop, break will be covered, then you can try to correlate it more and more. Yeah, Diksha, I think you are saying something. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You could see right how with the help of the tag name, right, we can get all the link with the help of the code. How automation is saving our effort, right? No manual effort, and it is very very accurate, and we can also get the all the thing, right? Yes. Yeah. And no, no video only here. These are the part, and that the PPT also will help you, and the code will also help you, right, to practice it little bit. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Node will be already daily basis. I'm sharing it, right? That PDF which help you to understand and the code. Yeah. The remaining folks, any questions? Few of the folks I'm not getting any questions at all. In case you are understanding everything or you are not understanding anything, try to be more. I mean, in case any questions, right? Definitely no hesitation, right? Any kind of question because you are new to the platform, right? That is the reason you are interested to take the training, right? So it does not have any problem. Any kind of questions you can have it because sometimes you are not able to understand the basic one. It can happen for anyone, right? Not be a problem. Yeah, Bandana. Hmm. Yeah, term. Yeah, yeah. You one thing you can do it. I mean, definitely there is no. I mean, because all term are related uniquely only. So definitely I cannot say that one thing is there. But you can note it down and you can let me know, ping me, right? I will try to discuss those things separately. Might be okay. Or maybe try to respond it in WhatsApp also, right? This is the term significance, or maybe giving reference link, right? Because every term you cannot find a same link unless you are specifying the term, exact term. Okay, and today's after today's class by tomorrow I'll be sharing some important link for manual testing concept, so that also help you to grab this thing. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will be sharing it because I already, yes, yes. I already know that you are even new to the IT or new to the testing. So yeah, that are the information link, important link. So you need to just spend some time so that once you go through this thing, best of the URL I will be giving you, because I mean I may have a lot of connection. Few of the person already developing the tutorial, so I know that this is the best thing. Lot of things can be available in the I mean Google, but you have to choose the right one so that you can understand easily. Yeah. Okay, so because these are the thing I have created by my own way, so that with minimal space you can try to understand it. Otherwise I have given you a 100 pages document initially. Is it possible to go through? No. So only one pages, few of the terms, it will give you more and more clarity for the short span of time. Yes, so that is the way. Okay, the next topic I will go where we need to scroll down or up a page. So suppose say I'm just giving you a simple example. Sometime it can fail, sometime it cannot. So why need to scroll up or scroll down a page? Suppose say there is a element. If I go to here, ready page. So you could see after you open the page is not fitting properly. right? Because you need to scroll down the bar. It is called scroll bar in the web page. So suppose you need to click here, but it is not fitting initially. So that way, sometime page will not fit in that 100% zoom. Okay, and if in case you want to interact, sometime it can work, but sometime because it is not visible in the 100% zoom, it might fail. There is no guarantee that it might fail, but there is a chances that it can fail, though you are identifying the properties and you are trying to interact, because it is not coming here in the 100% zoom initial page, because it is coming either next page or next to next page, like that. Some of the web page can have multiples, right, page in the same way. So if there will be scroll bar horizontal wise, vertical wise. Here only vertical wise, but sometimes some scroll bar can be there horizontal wise as well, because that view is more, right? It is not fitable in the 100% zoom. So how can you interact? How you can scroll? Scroll up or scroll down the page. So scroll bar allows user to move around the screen in horizontal or vertical direction. Vertical means top to bottom, horizontal means left to right or right to left, like that. And if the current page scroll does not fit the visible area of the screen, so you need to move your scroll bar. So it is used to move the window up and down or right to left. The scroll using Selenium, user need to use JavaScript executor interface. So that is the interface available in Selenium, through which there are a lot of methods available. The first one is window.scrollby, through which you can scroll by some pixel movement. So pixel is a term, right, from the image perspective basically, right? You can go down 100. So even I do not know what is 100 actually. So it will go down. So you can, as then will be walking like that. So it will be able to see something called 100, 200. So here you could see there are two things, right? One is X dimension, one is the Y dimension. So X dimension will be used for horizontal, left to right or right to left movement. And the Y axis will be for vertical movement, right? Similarly, if you want to go to the bottom of the page, suppose say there is a 3 pages available whenever you are opening it. I want to go to the bottom of the page. So there's a method called available called window.scroll to, so you can directly go to the bottom of the page. Similarly, if you want to just navigate to a particular element only, because I am really bothered about my whole page. My intention is that there may be 200 elements in the page, but I want to interact only with one element. So there is an option available called window.scroll to view, where you can go directly to that element and then you can perform the operation. So forget about the other one. Okay. So we'll create first that variable for the using JavaScript executor interface. So it is an interface, so you cannot create it directly object here. So Java, you could see if you type Java and press Control Spacebar, so it will give you all suggestion. So you need to not need to write it everything. Just write something and then press Control Spacebar from your keyboard at the same time. So JavaScript executor, and then you can create a variable equal to, you need to give here JavaScript executor. You need to create the object. So here you need to use typecast the driver, because it is a interface. So the driver is the object for the Chrome driver classes, so that way I can do it. So you need to typecast, that is called typecasting, because from the interface we cannot directly create the object, either you need to take the help from the class. So that is the way you can create the interface object or variable. Then if you want to move to some vertical or horizontal direction, you can just write that line comment. So you no need to change anything, just you can simply use that one. Suppose I want to move by 100 pixel vertically. Just copy it. It is will be fixed across always. Okay. So that is the reason I am copying it. And then give it. So I want to, if you want to go down by 150 pixels, so you can give it to 50. And give it 200 if you want to go by 200. It is vertical one. In case it is horizontally left to right, it is not fitable. You need to give it in the x-axis. So that is the way you can do it. Now let's try to run the code and let's see how it is happening. So it will open the page. It will move down the scroll bar by 200 pixels. You could see it is moving down the scroll bar, right? 200 pixel. If you give it 100 pixel, it will move like that. Okay, so X bar will be for the left to right or right to left, and Y direction will be from the top to bottom or bottom to top. So that is the one way. The second one, if you want to go directly to the bottom of the page, in case there are a lot of things there, but you want to go to the bottom of the page, end of the page, so you need to use that code. So you don't need to change anything, it is already developed. So just few of the thing, right? Every time you don't need to even think, because that is coming already developed one. Even each of the thing, even few of us also not aware much. So that is the recommendation only code. Okay, so if you click here, so it will go directly to the bottom of the page. You could see it is coming bottom of the page, right? It is go here, or already bottom of the page. But next thing is that if you want to just go to a particular element and you want to perform the operation, so how can you do that? So here, suppose I want to view that variable term and condition of the privacy policy, and I want to click on that. So you just press F12 button, go down here and identify that one. So it is a link, so I can go with the link or partial link text. So this is the way I can create the variable first. Say link, what is the link name? Privacy policy, pp link, privacy policy link equal to driver dot find element by dot link text. Now you need to copy that line, next line here, to interact with the link. So that is the line, only copying it. So this is my variable JSC dot that line, and here you need to change that element reference. So that is my new element. I'll be changing it only here. So that is the part you need to do. Then once it is visible, I want to click here so that my script will never fail. So that is the three way you can interact with the right page navigation or the scroll bar navigation in Selenium, using Selenium. You could see it's already navigated and it is visible. So that is the way, right? Is go down to the page to identify the element first and then click, so that your script will never fail. Otherwise, sometime it can get failed. Then I will go to the next topic and then I will take a pause, because two more important topics is left over, Xpath and CSS. So as of now, you already understand like link, ID, class name, like partial link text, all this stuff. And also you have an idea like how to get the default one, CSS or Xpath. But sometime your default will not work, Xpath or CSS. Or sometime your ID, class name is available, but those are not working. Okay, then how can you handle this thing? Your ID is there, but it's not working. Why it is not working, I will let you know slowly. So that is the reason two options is called CSS and Xpath. So Xpath is nothing called XML path. It is syntax or language for finding any element on the web page using XML path expression. In case, right, those are the properties available but not working, or some of the properties still not there, ID, class, nothing is there, then how can you do it? And your default XPath is not working, so you need to go with the customized XPath. So whenever you are talking about the XPath, there are primarily three types of XPath: relative XPath, absolute XPath, and partial XPath. So what is absolute XPath? So I am just giving a simple example. So I am Haradhan, I am giving the training. So sometime, suppose say in case you are anywhere location, you need to come to my home to get the training, right? Then how will reach to me? Suppose you are in maybe Delhi, so you need to come to first either through flight, so your route might change. To you need to come to from first airport, right? Then you need to come to my zip code. Then you need to come to my address or road. Then you need to come to my complex, and then you need to come to my tower, then my floor, and then my flat. That is the way you need to come in. So you are traversing that way. So it is giving that absolute path from the parent to the child node. right? But the problem, what problem will happen? Suppose say I did not let you know, right? Where, I mean, maybe you know me, but you do not know my address. You do know my address as well, but maybe for a particular day I am not staying there. So what you can do? You can call me and you can ask for the address. So you can come to my correct path. You can completely track me. Or sometime, right, there is a mobile number or pan card, all this stuff, right? You can go in the direction. So instead of coming to my home, maybe that day I will be staying in the other location, and I have called you, I am staying in the institution, and I am having 5 institution, suppose say, or 5 home. Then you can come to my correct one, that is called relative XPath. So instead of I can give some fixed part where I will not be moved. So that way you can come directly without any hesitance. And partial XPath means you are already using the absolute XPath. Suppose you already in Kolkata. So definitely you don't need to travel. Your home is maybe in Delhi or Bangalore, but you are already in Kolkata. Then again, are you back to Bangalore and are you traveling to Kolkata? No. So few of the part you already reached. So that is the way, right? Few of the part you can discard it, and then it is giving you the partial XPath. Relative XPath means, right, from a location which will never change or there is a less probability you can traverse to me, that is called relative XPath. But from the absolute XPath might get changed due to some limitation. Suppose say today you are coming to through airport, but airport is got changed to some other places. You can easily understand, but your code will never understand because that is logic. They are coming through some properties, and properties get changed, it will fail. But if I giving you a simple example, right, that exact address instead of airport, that in Kolkata famous Howrah Bridge. So Howrah Bridge will never change, right? But less probability, the Howrah Bridge will change. So you can come to Howrah Bridge and you can navigate. So that is the way you can traverse through the relative XPath. So in the real time, nobody should use the absolute XPath or partial XPath, but it should better to use the relative XPath. So that is the questions might come in the interview. That is the reason I want to give you more clarity here. So how can you create the XPath? Right, in case it is a your idea all this stuff is not working, then you can create it through basic contents or text. Start with, I'll be showcasing, right, how you can create it. So let's try to automate something here. Say I want to add some name in the full name field. You could see there is an option available called name, right? So name is element locator, so I can take the name and then I can write down my code here. Code here, driver dot find element by dot name, and then it is a name text field, so I'll be using dot send keys. Suppose say I want to enter my name. Okay, and let's run it. No need to worry about, let's run it first and let's see what the problem is happening. So you could see name is not getting entered and it is throwing the error. You could see error. What is the error? No such element, unable to locate element, right? CSS selector or the whatever you have used. Where the error is coming? It is coming session 2 class and line number 22. Automatically it is, you can, that is the way you can debug your code. In the last, it will giving you the class name, main method and the exact line number. If you click on the hyperlink, it will give you. So that line is not working. Can anyone let me know why it is not working? We have taken the name, right? Because name is the element locator and we have taken the exact name. But it is not working. No, it is unique only. If you press F, Control F, you could see one out. Okay, 5. But that, yeah, that is the one reason. But it might be unique also, because that is unique, because that is the different one, right? It is names dot other. But ID equal to name equal to unique here. You could see ID equal to name equal to unique here only. Name equal to that one is unique here. Name attribute. Other attribute is, I forget about that. Other attribute will not work. But name equal to that name is unique here. You could see that is the other attribute, but name equal to that unique, but still it is not working. Can give anyone give a try? So if you copy it here, you could see there are two parts. One is the name part and one is that numeric part. So the first part is called static and second one is called dynamic. And that part, every time that property used to get changed. So now it is a ABC, next time it can be D, C, E, F like that. So it will not be unique, it will not match. Then how can you handle that one? That's the problem, because sometimes some of the element, web element reference have some value, but this will have two component. One is static, one is dynamic, and dynamic component used to get changed. So here name property you cannot take only the name part. That will not allow you, because you have to give the complete one. So dynamic part will change every time. So though your name is available, which is element locator, but still you cannot use it. Apart from that, now you could see there is no other property at all. Then how can you go with? If you go with the default Xpath CSS, it will not work. It will again fail because it will change every time. Then how can you go with that? You need to create your own Xpath. So you can identify the element uniquely and which will not change. Okay. So that is the way you can do. Now I will show you how you can create your own Xpath. So there are a lot of options available to create your own Xpath. Okay. So here I have given. So how to create your Xpath? / tag name. Then @ attribute name equal to value. Okay. So Control F, press Control F, give //. What was the name? Attribute name? Input. Tag name, right? So input. Then give third bracket @ attribute name equal to value. So suppose say give name at the attribute, that is called attribute name equal to single quote and then corresponding value. So you are able to uniquely identify, but it will still not work because anyway same thing we are doing it. You could see now 1 of 1 instead of 5 of 1. If you give it, still it will not work. Xpath we are creating, but it will not work. So how can I create my Xpath? So either there are other options. In case you do not know the tag name, you can give star / star. That is the another way. So here you can give star. You could see still it is 1 of 1 because relevant name is not here. Only one option is there with the name, but it will still not work. So you have to create where you can remove the dynamic part. So there are other options available called contents or start with, right? So I'll go with start with. So here I can go with input so that it will be uniquely, and then instead of name I can go with start with. So that is the syntax you need to use here. In case you start with, you no need to give @ in the attribute, you need to give it. So here it will be @, not @ here, starts with exact word with all the lowercase uppercase, starts STARTS, start with wherever way I have given it, bracket, all the bracket I have written already here, you no need to worry. Yes, Diksha. Start with. Start means you, in case you are not clear about the tag name, so you can go with start. So it will work for all the tag name. But in case you are specific the tag name, means only specific to tag name. Yeah, start, right. For all the element type. Yeah. Here we are specifying the exact tag name like input or div or link, all this stuff. But start means it will contain all the one. It will consider. Okay. Then starts with exact wording, guys. Remember, this is your, very important. Just keep it printed. You can. That is the thing for real time. Okay. Even sometimes I used to forget it, right? I used to same way I used to identify. Starts with and then attribute and then the starting value, which is the fixed one. Okay. So I'll go here. starts with, I need to give the bracket and only the fixed component. I need to end with first bracket. Okay. Slash slash input starts strts. Starts with hyphen, then bracket at the rate name. Okay, comma, it will be comma, not equal to, because here it is comma, right? You could see. So that way it will change, guys. So just remember that one exact syntax, otherwise it will not work. Now you could see one of one. So I am just identifying the element with the help of the static part. So static part is not getting changed, name is not getting changed, dynamic part is getting changed. Now it is fine. Now if you just copy it and if you place it in code here, instead of by name, I can identify with the help of by Xpath. Then don't send keys. Okay. Now see whether your code is working or not. You could see it's getting entered, right? So that is the way you can just try to figure out in case not working. So contents means in the middle, right? Something is there on the end, something is that you can go with content. But in case you know that we want to go with, so there will be three component here, right? Start any all the time, then middle portion, and the end portion. So for Xpath, there's an option called start with, where you can go with the starting part exactly. Otherwise, you can use content for the middle or the end part, because there is no end with concept available for the Xpath. But for CSS is there. Start with, end with, both is there along with content. But for Xpath, only two option. Either go with start with or use content for the middle or the end part. Okay, so that is the one. The next one, in case you want to give multiple properties, you can give it, right? Properties 1 equal to value or properties 2 equal to value. So in case anything is matching, it will work. But say with any of the property, right, I am not able to uniquely identify. So say name, here two option is there, name. Okay, maybe that name equal to two option is there. Then how can I identify it? So I need to give that one option and then again need to give and then other option, so that I can uniquely identify the element and option. And means both the option need to be corrected only, then it will work. So say I will be identifying one element say the Facebook page. If I go here, there is a login button, right? I need to click on that one, F12 button, and if you want to go here, login, right? So say name equal to login equal to present sometimes. So I'll be creating Xpath, control F slash slash. It is type, tag name is starting with button, right? And name equal to login. So how can I do it? So it will be button, then third bracket, right? Then at the rate name equal to first code login and the third code. Sorry, button word is not correct. button at the rate name equal to login. 1 second, still not correct. Yeah, you could see one of one. But say in case it is not working, sometime login name is twice present. Okay, then I can go with other property. So here I can go with type equal to submit. So here I can give add and type at the rate again type equal to, what is the type? Submit. So with these two property, I can identify the element uniquely. So either you can give with or, but it will be still it is you can see one about of one. So that in case login name got changed but type equal to submit will be still there. So that is the way either you go with and or operation. So or means in case you are giving multiples, in case something got changed, other was is still valid, will work with that one. But and very very important, because most of the time, I mean few of the time, maybe 1% cases, with unique identifier you are not able to identify the element uniquely. So you need to use the on and, so with different multiple properties. So I mean better to use for two properties, use the on and or. So that is the way you can go with that one. Then the one of the important most important one, in case it is a link, then how can you identify it? Sometimes link test, partial link test is not working. Few of the cases might happen. Then how can I create the XPath for the link? Suppose say this is my page and I want to click on the link, right? So go here directly and create XPath for the link. So how can you validate whether XPath is correct or not? Apart from that one of one, and you got clicking here, it is highlighting the element, right? You could see the left pan. Apart from that, there is an option for validating the XPath. You could go to the console here. You could see there's an option available called console element and then console tab, right here. And here it is coming something. I need to give dollar sign. Then you can give bracket, sorry, not the bracket, dollar and then X and then bracket, and then within the double quote you can give the XPath and you can close the bracket. Now you could see it is giving something, right? You could see one button. That way you can validate, right? It is only one element, length equal to 1, and that is giving. If you press enter, if you selecting that, you can also highlighting the left pan. So that is the way you can also validate whether XPath is correct or not. Now let's try to create the XPath for the link. Okay. So say this is the link. I am not going with the CSS or partial link text or the link text. So how can I create the XPath? So what is the tag name here? Anchor link. So I will first give the tag name called anchor link, and it's a link. So I need to go with text. You could see whenever it is a text, so no @ sign. Text equal to, you need to give the exact text name. So here what is the text name? This is the text name. So anchor, first tag name / then give third bracket, then text text bracket, that is the syntax. I am not writing anything new, that is the syntax I am using, equal to first quote exact text name ending and ending to third bracket. Now you could see 1 out of 1. Then with the help of that I can click on that link. So let's try to automate it. There's a link, I can click here. And if you run your code, so with the XPath only I am dealing it. You could see it is entering the value Haradhan and it's clicking on the link. Okay, so that is the way you can, in case the element locator is available but it's still not working, or sometime you need to create unique element, so you can go with the and operation for XPath creation. You can create with the text, you can create with the start with contents, right? And then or, and also with the test. So that way, and subtype and type. So that way you can create your own XPath and you can validate it as well after going to the here, going to the next console tab. Console tab, press something called $X, give first bracket, within the double quote give the XPath, end the first bracket, press enter. You could see enter only, right? That anchor link is coming and length is 1. If you highlight it, automatically it will display that one. You could see in the left panel. Okay, it's highlighting the layer. So that is the way it will. If you go here, if you create some XPath and if you press enter, it will show you one of one. So that is the way, means it is uniquely identified. And if you press enter, it is highlighting in the left panel. You could see, as and when you are entering, it is highlighting. It is highlighting. It is highlighting with width and breadth in the web page, and it is giving one of one. So your main objective is to create it uniquely, mostly with the XPath. In case something is getting failed, you can get to know. But last step is either with XPath or CSS. In case something is not working. Okay, I will take a pause before going to the last topic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So few of the organization they uses definitely all the element locator. Okay, but few of the organization uses CSS selector because that is very easy to use it. Few of the organization they rely on Xpath, but both are good. But CSS selector is more easy, but it having some drawback as well. So in those drawbacks they can use the Xpath. I will be giving you the difference as well. What is the difference between CSS and Xpath? But best is with go with CSS and Xpath in the real time, because that will not change, right? It's uniquely identifying, because ID name, in case something is changing, it will create the trouble for you. Okay, it will vary based on your some organization they 90% used CSS. Few of the organization I have seen, a few of the project I have seen, they are using only Xpath. So it will based on their convention, but both is good. But Xpath is having a lot of advantage, where CSS is having, it is more easier, but it is having some limitations. Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah, anything. But in case you are able to uniquely do it, yes, in anything. Suppose say I'm giving an example. Yeah. So here, suppose say, so this is the link, right? I can go here. Type here. Type is not a right. Type equal to not a properties at all, right? Type is not element locator. It is a properties. You could see with the help of type I can uniquely identify. Okay. So that is the way. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right, right. Let's try to do it here. Okay, 1 second. Say I am trying to inspect it. In case it is uniquely identified, well, so say I am giving data hyphen test ID. Not be a problem. Data hyphen test ID and the exact value. What is the exact value? Royal hyphen or underscore login underscore button. Okay, data. It is data. Is it fine? That is the beauty of the Xpath. You no need to rely on that, only the element locator you need to use it. So because the element locator is not there at all, but that is the only properties available. Yeah, it will depend, right? Because they are already habituated with that one. That is the reason. But I must say that CSS is the good one, but it has some limitations. So for those limitations, you can use Xpath. So once you are, I mean, really habituated, then it will not having any differences. So you can go with either CSS or Xpath. But for the I mean, initial time, CSS will be more and more faster compared to Xpath. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in case it is uniquely identified by ID or name, you can go with that also. There is no hard and fast rule. It will be depend by your organization, by yourself also. How you are easily, how your code is stable enough, right? In case it's unstable, so definitely you have to go with Xpath and CSS. Means in case something is getting changed, and based on your, I mean, web page type, right? As well, it will depend. Yeah, other questions, guys? Any other question? Yeah. No, I already told, right? Do not go with the partial or the absolute one. Just forget about that. For the concept purpose, you can, I mean, read it only, but always will go the relative. Yeah, relative XPath. Relative X. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Contents means I already told, right? Middle portion of the last portion. Because start with will not work for the middle portion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Numerate any value, contents. So you need to identify. Otherwise, in case you are giving one word, it will not be able to identify, right? You have to give some word, 5, 6 words, so that uniquely able to identify it, right? So I'm just letting you know. Suppose say here we have created the XPath right here. So here only I'll be giving something called, okay, instead of where I can use contents button and then contents, and here that is the type. I can maybe with something called middle part, right? I can remove that part, and here it will be, I think, at the rate comma, and I need to give some bracket here. Yeah, you could see how it is working, or maybe you can give the last part, right? Underscore button. So here I can give till in and then last part, right? So that is my last part, putton. Also it will work. So contents, it can work for the first, last or second part, middle part, but start with only work for the starting part. Yeah. Why actually start with use? Suppose say in case some of the type, right? Maybe the starting keyword it available for the other element middle keyword. That will be problem, right? So that is the way start with also play a pivotal role sometimes. So suppose here button is on the last for this element, but underscore button for some of the field is only first one. Then it will identify two element. But in case you start with, so definitely you can able to identify uniquely. Because for only one element starting point is underscore button. But for the other element, one element middle point is underscore button, one element last point is underscore button, so you can avoid them. So you have to give more and more analysis based on your experience. You will be growing that analysis, and you can let get. Yeah, 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 right. But that is the very important one, right? Which through which you can create your XPath uniquely. Hmm. Are you able to understand the concept or not, guys? Hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks. Yeah, practice is really required. I told you, right? So it need to practice it, and you need to gain the confidence. So one thing is complicated that will having the value in the market and complex. So that is the reason you are taking the training. I'm giving the training. In case it is really easily understandable, right? Nobody will give you value. So the area where complexity is there and you need to spend the time, you need to understand the thing, those are the area people will be giving you value. So that's the simple logic in the real time world. Okay. So the next one is CSS. So similar way, in case ID all this stuff is not working, then you can create your CSS selector. So also it will be string pattern. So CSS is much faster, more readable, and sometimes most of the organization use the CSS. So what is the difference between the XPath CSS? So CSS is very easy to write compared to XPath. I am discussing. It's more faster compared to XPath. using CSS, right? You can use that start with, content, and end with, but Xpath is only having start with and contents. But CSS you cannot create with the help of text. That is the another drawback of CSS. Otherwise, most of the thing is there. Okay, so that is the another drawback. So for the link, right, you are using with the help of text, but CSS it will not support you at all. So that is the simple logic how to create an XPath. So you could see HTML tag, then hash, and in case you know the ID, you can give the ID. So suppose say I want to create a CSS selector here for the same page, right? So in case you know the name or other attribute, okay, ID is not here, but say here something is ID, you already know the ID. Okay, this is also not having ID, not having ID. This is also not having ID. Yeah, login page will be having the ID, right? Exactly. Yes, this is the ID you are having, email, right? Then what is the tag name input? So what you need to give it here, you don't need to give double slash, simply give tag name input. For ID, you need to give hash sign and then ID. You could see one of one. You could see how easily you can do it, right? So that is the beauty of the CSS. But it is having some limitations, so here you can use the XPath. Okay. So that will vary based on your organization, based on your customer need. Okay. Then next one, yeah. Yeah, that's fine, but ID is there, right? One property can be having multiple property, one value. It does not matter. You are not worry about the value. You are worry about the corresponding to ID, because hash sign will map with ID. Hash sign is mapped with the ID. For the name, there is no matching here. Actually, you need to manually do it. Okay. So you need to go with attribute equal to value. So suppose in case you are using name, so input tag, then third bracket, right? Attribute name equal to email. I don't think that any passcode you need to give it, email. Okay. So name, no shortcut is there for the name, only ID shortcut is there. Okay. So that is the way simply you can do it. So in case you want to create with more variable, in case one is not working, so you can give again third bracket, you can give ID equal to email. You could see multiple way, right? The next one we start with. So you could see here you need to use the option syntax for start with. Suppose say here similar way whatever we have created for that login button. So say data ID. Yes. So I'll be going with the CSS. So start with HTML tag. So what is the tag? Button. Remove double slash. Then attribute, right? And equal to sign equal to prefix. So that is for start with. Right. So remove that one. Attribute. Attribute. Then star. Sorry, that sign. Here, what is the sign? That is sign equal to starting part. That is called start with. Say I am going with royal. You could see it is starting. That is the sign you need to give it for the starting with. So in case it's end with, you need to change the dollar sign, and then last part dollar equal to what is the last part? Button. Okay. And then in case we go with contents, you need to give star sign, star, and then middle part or end part, anything, any part, star sign. Okay. So that is the way you can create the CSS selector. and multiple symbol I already show start and then contents, and attribute equal to corresponding value. In case you know the ID, you can do it also easily. So you can see how easily, but it has some limitation, right? From the parent to child, or the text part is not working. I mean, there is no way. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Joyjit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is OR operator. I think AND operator is not here in the CSS. Only OR. That is OR operator. Yeah, that's so that is the limitation is having CSS. So those area you can go with XPath, because XPath will cover everything. Though other part is not there, right? Like end with not there, but still with start with and contents you can go with XPath. So definitely as it will be working, you can get to know, but you can, based on your experience, based on your comfortable, you can use with start with sorry CSS, and whatever the area will not cover in the CSS or something travel, you can go with the XPath. Okay. Yeah, so that is the different topics. I'll be repeating once more before wrapping it up. So images, like in case it is a clickable, right, we can click it, but in case it's not clickable, static one, we can get the different properties, right, attribute value with the help of the get attribute methods. So you need to go with XPath or CSS for identifying the element first, and then checkbox and radio button, right, you can validate whether it's visible, right, displaying or in or enabled or selected, then you can click. In case it is a checkbox, you can check or uncheck it, but in case radio button, you can select only at a time. And drop down means, right, there will be some kind of type list, that is called type list, right, you can click on that drop down and a lot of options will be visible, and you can select the option particular time. So you have to always rely on the select class. So there are multiple methods: select by visible text, index, value, you can go with that one. You can scroll down and scroll up a page, right, you can go some pixel, you can go to the bottom of the page, you can go to a particular element. And then Xpath and CSS I already mentioned. In case some of the web element locator is available, but it is not working, or sometimes no element locator is available. So for the properties itself, you can go with the Xpath or CSS. You can use multiple operation, right, and or with the help of the tag name, and you can go with the content, start with, end with, or text based on your Xpath and CSS type. So that way you can really start digging down some of the field first. So main objective is to identify the field, and after that you will perform the operation. But in case you are not able to identify the field, how will perform the operation? So first is that you need to identify the field with the help of the different element locator techniques and properties. Then so once the element is identified uniquely in the page, then you can do the operation based on the element type. In case it is a link, it will be click. It is a text box, you can add some value, clear some value. It is a checkbox or radio button, you can select it, right. In case it's drop down, you can also get some value, you can input some value. So whatever is really important to start with, right, all the element properties will be covered. Okay. So that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.